Hey, what's up guys? We are back for another Overwatch review, taking a look at another one of the single packed figures. Today we have got BLACKWATCH, REYES, or REAPER, depending on how you want to call him. So we've got him here in our standard Overwatch single figure package. So we got him there in the window. We've got some wraparound artwork that shows REAPER going to town with his massive guns, and then the back of the box has got stats, more of that artwork, and then a bit of a lineup with the rest of the figures in the wave. So let's do it. Let's pull this guy out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our BLACKWATCH REYES / REAPER figure. And this is the one that, I knew I had to get him, but he's not the version of REAPER that I want. And we all know we want the regular one or just that version in maybe a different skin. This is not the REAPER skin that I want. And this is kind of one of those Hasbro things where I'm having to assume that later on, if this line continues, and I'm assuming it will, that we're going to get a regular REAPER and they're going to get people to double dip. So I'm hoping that's what happens. This is still a pretty good figure, don't get me wrong, but I just don't have any attachment to this skin. I don't use it. I have it, but I don't use it. It's just too plain compared to what REAPER normally looks like, but it's still a decent figure. So let's get started, take a look at Articulation, see what he can do. Being a relatively standard humanoid male, he's pretty similar to Soldier 76, so not going to have any real surprises here. So the head can go backwards, it can go forward and down, rotate side to side. You've got arms that go out, they rotate. He has a butterfly joint there, which is really nice. You have got rotation at the shoulder there on the the outside of the butterfly joint, basically. Double jointed elbows, mine are really tight. And then you've got hinges and rotation at the wrist. We have that upper diaphragm swivel, so all the way around, and then you've got the crunch. But he doesn't go too far forward, at least mine does not. So he goes backwards, but he doesn't go too far forward. He hits the this little belt pouch almost instantly. So I might be able to get him to go down, but he doesn't really want to. And I don't want to break my figure on camera either. Legs go out, they kick forward and backward pretty far. Thigh cut, you've got your double jointed knees. And then we've got our rocker, and we've got hinges down at those ankles. So pretty standard stuff. He's got that nice butterfly joint though to kind of help him with his mobility. And it'll definitely help with some REAPER style posing, no doubt. Now, as far as the overall look here, I've already kind of mentioned the fact that this is not my preferred REAPER look, but he still very much looks the part. There's no doubt that this does very much look like this skin, this version of REAPER of REYES, and I think they did a pretty good job here. There's a lot of stuff going on, honestly. A decent amount of paint. You've got the backpack, the harness kind of thing here. You've got his ammo pouches all over the place. You've got the boots, very mechanical, very gunmetal gray with a slight metallic hinge to them. And then you've got the emblems on his shoulders here, which look really nice. Tampos are really nicely done. And the sculpt just looks pretty good. I don't have any real issues with this figure in a technical sense, how it's sculpted. It could maybe use a little bit of panel lining in some places, like this line that runs down the center, and just a little bit of outlining here and there. But I think he looks good. We've got two trigger finger hands on him straight out of the box, which are likely the ones to use through and through, just based on his character and what his weaponry is. But while I don't really care too much for this skin from a gameplay perspective, I mean, it works. It certainly got me to buy it. I was curious to begin with, so I wasn't not going to get him, but I'm not upset with how he looks. It's a pretty solid figure, and I don't have any real issues with paint flubs or sculpting issues. He works. He's just not my preferred version, but you can't fault it if it looks nice still. Of course, the head is another instance where we're getting some photoreal tech in this line, and I think it works nicely here. We've got the scar that runs across his face. It's pretty nicely done. This head is another one that, without anything really on his head or on his face, he definitely does seem a little small. And I guess now that I go back and look at these, Soldier 76 doesn't look as small because he has the whole thing around his face. So the head definitely does seem to be a little bit small. He, of course, has the toboggan on there, which I guess helped them with sculpting, because there's no real hair to speak of except what pokes out the back. And then he's got the facial hair, which is pretty cleanly applied. It is sculpted though. There's actual sculpted lines there. So it's not just paint. It is a section that they painted on top of it. So it looks good. So you've got the man underneath the mask. And the photoreal tech is something that I really enjoy with this line. Even though we aren't talking about real actors or anything, it helps bring the visuals from the game, which I personally am very familiar with, into life. And it works. Hasbro's done a good job with that. Now, as far as accessories goes, Reaper is pretty par for the course with the rest of this line. We've got weapons, we've got energy effects, and we've got extra hands. So we have got a replacement right hand, which is a fist, and then we've got an open palm extra left hand, so you can swap those out if you want to. But of course, the standard Reaper pose is always going to be with both guns, and he does come with both guns. They have 0 paint on them, but they do have a lot of sculpt. You know, they very much seem like big Nerf style guns, but a lot of sculpt, a lot of detail sculpted in there. They do seem, however, to be a little on the heavy side, and I'm honestly having a little bit of trouble posing him with both guns stretched straight forward. So we need to work on that, see how that works, but I definitely think they add a little too much heft to the front of the figure, because they are, I mean, just like in the game, they are comically oversized guns that he holds one-handed. So there is still, you know, a lot of weight here, not to mention the fact that he does come with energy effects like I mentioned, and he comes with 2 of these. So you've got these guys right here, and they are just the blast effects, and they pop into the barrels on the gun, and they simulate the gunfire. And I think they look really nice. You know, red translucent plastic, you already got me right there. But they do seem to add a little bit of weight and just a little bit of forward-facing weight to kind of throw them off kilter. So just beware when you're posing them with those, but I think they look great. I mean, it's very quintessential Reaper stuff. How could you not have him with these 2 massive, ridiculous guns that have 2 energy effects? Because that's what we get with this line. Everybody gets an energy effect, and I love that. It's just fantastic. It just, of course, throws him a little off balance in my experience. So overall, despite this not being the Reaper that I wanted, this still works pretty well. He very much looks the part. He has a great sculpt going on. Paint is nicely done. Photoreal is really well applied onto this particular head sculpt. And he comes with all the accessories you could need. The only real downside to these guns is that they definitely add a little bit of weight onto those arms, onto those butterfly joints. So you have to get positioning down correct. But when you do, it very much works and looks pretty fantastic, because he just looks cool firing those 2 stupidly large guns. I'm very, very sure we're going to get a regular Reaper down the road. This is that quintessential Hasbro double dip philosophy that they have with other stuff, with other lines. So I expect a regular Reaper to complement the BLACKWATCH Reaper Reyes some point down the road, but until then, this will work just fine. So that's going to do it for this look at the Overwatch Ultimates BLACKWATCH Reyes figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.